God, when are you taking me? And when all the women begin to ask for such, from God, you have to know that their time for leaving this world is soon. And they go. And so we pray for all the old women that we have in this country and also outside Uganda, that may the good Lord continue to give them the health that they need. It's quite unfortunate that I have also been able to lose all my grandmothers and my grandfathers, and so may their souls rest in eternal peace. And I'm here to survive, and I know because of their prayers, wherever they might be, it's making me to survive, because they believe that they will one time also meet me and somewhere, and so we continue to pray for them as well. Life is useless on this earth, and so what you need to do is stay well with people and think about others. You should treat other people the way you treat yourself as well. And so if you think that you treat yourself very well and other people you don't treat them well, you have to know that time will come that you really need this particular person in life. And so we pray for all those who are taking good care of old persons in this country, that may the good Lord continue to bless the work of your hands, and you look for something to make them survive. There are those that have nobody to support them, but they are also surviving, and God continues to bless them as well. And so we do not really take that for granted. And so that is the quite unfortunate story that I felt it is important that we should really start with this warning. And so we continue to pray for others as well. So let's get to Tanzania. You have to know that the issues to do with fighting corruption, it is not only tough here in our country, Uganda, by the head of state. I have to tell you that the president of Tanzania, the lady herself, the only woman here in Africa who is the head of state. And so Samia takes on Tanzania graft cartels. And so she believes that there are a cartel of people who are always confusing the country in as far as stealing from the country is concerned. And so she says that she will never really handle these people with the loose hands, and so she has to tighten her hands right there. So the firebrand opposition leader Tundu Lissu of the Chadema party has put the estimated loss of public funds due to graft, mismanagement and negligence at 2 trillion Tanzanian shillings, around 862 million US dollar being stolen by those that are in charge of this money in Tanzania. And so what is the case in our country, Uganda? They always say that around trillions of money are being stolen by those that have been entrusted with the resources in our country, Uganda. And so in November 2021, at a Dubai air show, Tanzania placed an order for a Boeing 767-300 freighter, besides a 787-8 Dreamliner and 2737, that is Max, the freighter, would be used to capitalize on Africans, going cargo demand. And so Boeing and the Air Tanzania company said that 767 freighter will give Air Tanzania exceptional capability and flexibility to meet passengers and cargo demand within Africa and beyond. And that is according to the chief executive Ladislaus Matindi, who is the head of the Air Tanzania right there. And now, as National Carrier prepares to receive, that is the Africa's first B767-300F, a mix of excitement and anxiety is palpable in Dar es Salaam. So last month, the plane spotters saw the aircraft conducting test flights at the Boeing factory, that is at the Pioneer Field, Seattle, that is at Seattle there in the USA. So it was expected at the Julius Nyerere International Airport on March 31st, but the delivery was delayed by supply issues. Now, immediate sacking. Boeing said the quality issues are forced to rework the 767Fs, that is, and the delivery is expected this month, that is in Dar es Salaam. But in Dar, President Samia Suluhu Hassan has been fuming over the purchase of this plane, which was built to turn Dar into a cargo hub in the region. So the newest report of the Controller and Audit General has uncovered massive overpricing after that is the 86 million US dollar invoice was submitted to the government as the final installment. This is well over double the 37 million figure in the original purchase contract agreed with the plane manufacturer in Washington, D.C. right there. So hit by the revelations amid a growing public outcry on April 19, on April 9th, President Samia sacked John Nzulule, Director General of the Tanzanian Government Flight Agency, which was charged with handling Air Tanzania's plane purchases under the John Magufuli initiated revival strategy right there. And so this is matter to do with the graft or corruption in Tanzania. I thought it is only corruption is here in our country Uganda, and so if corruption is eating all the African countries, I do not know where we are going. And so if we have the head of state, taking it to that level of fighting the graft, sacking, and that is the right word to be used. You have to be sacked, you have to be told to leave the job, and if possible you should not be employed anywhere in a country that is fighting corruption. And so if our country Uganda can also adopt that, those who are involved in corruption scandals, if they're sacked and they leave positions for those who seems to be, God-fearing, and then that will be good. And somebody did tell me that these people who are now corrupt, when they were joining the service, they pretended to be God-fearing persons. And so they failed to understand what exactly, is happening to them right there. And so that is something that you need to know right there. 41 minutes past over 7 a.m. right here on Western Television. My name is Denis. Let's go for a break. And when we come back, we shall be able to dive into more stories that we have for you this morning.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC. Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, I will be back here still watching Western Television. 43 minutes past over 7 a.m. right here on Western Television. Apparently, we have only, that is a 16 minutes to the top of there of 8 a.m. on Western Television. Let's get to more stories. It is still a sad moment in our country, Uganda, as we continue to lose big shots that we do have in this country, those who served and those who are still serving. And you have to know that we are still mourning the death of the former permanent secretary and secretary to the Treasury, and who has been working as the permanent secretary as the office of the Prime Minister. I am talking about Kit Mukanizi, who passed on, that is in Milan, that is in Italy. And so right now, as we talk, I have to tell you that the retired High Court Judge, Wilson Masalo Musene, has passed on, and that is another shocking moment right there for us. And so you need to know this, that it is something that we need to get to understand right there. And so, dear viewer, you have to know that it is still a sad moment as we also will continue to mourn the death of the permanent secretary to the office of the Prime Minister. Now we are talking about the High Court Judge Wilson Masalo Musenene dying right there. And so it's quite unfortunate as the country. So such person who has been so instrumental in this country. And so we really pray that may the good Lord bless them, and they will continue also to pray for us right there. And so that is something that you need to know right there. Dear viewer, there's a technical glitch and we do apologize. If my producer can really make us go for a short break and we come back, that will be so good.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Back, I really apologize right there, and I believe that this will be rectified. And so, dear viewer, I have been telling you that Justice Musenene, officially retired on March 6, 2021. And for those who are well versed with the issues in our country, Uganda, you can really remember in 2021, Justice that is Wilson Masalo Musenene, retiring right there. And so he retired when he clocked 65 years. And so from 2021 up to 2023, if you to calculate, it means that he died at 67 for your information. So the judiciary announced this yesterday, and so for your information that this has also been confirmed that he died in Bale on Sunday evening. And so according to the statement from the judiciary, it reads that the funeral arrangements to be announced later. May he rest in eternal peace right there. And so this statement was issued by the judiciary of this country, so meaning that it has been confirmed for your information and for those who might be doubting. And so who is this person of Wilson Masalo Musenene? So on April 20th, 2021, Masalo, who was the Soroti resident judge, was sent on forced leave ahead of his retirement. And so in his letter, the principal judge, Dr. Flavian Zeja, explained that whereas Justice Musenene had 3 extra months to wind up pending Shamba work, it was necessary that he went on annual leave for the remaining 52 days right there. So Justice Musenene officially retired on March 6, 2021 after clocking 65 years. However, the Constitution allowed him 3 more extra months to wind up any pending Shamba work. So in August 2020, the United States government through the U.S. Department of Treasury imposed that is the financial sanctions and visa restrictions on Justice Musenene alongside retired Justice Moses Mukibi, Advocate Dora Mirembe, and husband Patrick Eshobu. And so they were indicted for their alleged involvement in activities that victimized young children in a corrupt adoption scheme. And so the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of the Foreign Assets Control in its 2020 statement noted that the trio participated in a scam that saw young children removed from their families in Uganda and placed into a corrupt adoption network headed by the facilitation of officials right there. And so this is a brief about what this gentleman who has left us has been involving himself with others and into. And so because of that, it made the judiciary to send that is the retired High Court judge on a forced leave right there. And so that is something that you need to know in regards to what is happening in our country, Uganda. And so it's important that you should be able to know a person of Justice Wilson Masalo Musenene right there, and may his soul rest in eternal peace, and the souls of those who have departed away from us also continue to rest in eternal peace right there. And so let's get on issues to do with Museveni, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the son, General, that is Muhoozi Kainerugaba. What is NRM saying, and what has been said by the NRM, that is the NRM Electoral Commission chairperson, Dr. Tanga Udoi, right there. So let's say here, Museveni will be president in 2026. Muhoozi should wait, and that's according to Tanga, right there. So Dr. Tanga described the mooted plans by the first son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, to be contest for the flag as a joke, and so that's according to Dr. Tanga Udoi right there. And so I think this question was asked when President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni came around, and so there was a Museveni who did ask a question before the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni addressing the leaders here in Arua City, that they see T-shirts being distributed. There are T-shirts with General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, and there's a T-shirt with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, picture on it. And so, which one exactly is NRM using? Because all the T-shirts are also in yellow color, and so people are really trying to get a little bit confused. Who should they go with, and who exactly will appear on the ballot paper? But we have really witnessed on several occasions people endorsing President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, including even West Nile effort for Museveni, also endorsing President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And the other time when Muhoozi Kainerugaba came here in Arua, there are also people who were able to to associate with him and saying that, yeah, you are our president come 2026. And I've seen those who have been getting too close to the two parties getting confused, and they do not know exactly where they are going. Should we say that they are just trying to associate with these people because they see that there's money that they're supposed to tap opportunity from? And so we do not know yet exactly what will really happen in 2026. Maybe the environment will begin getting cloudy when we get into 2024 and 2025, and so it will be clear for us in 2025 to know who exactly will appear on the ballot paper. Should we say that it is a kind of a game that is being played, that somebody continues to campaign for somebody without us knowing who exactly will appear on the ballot paper? But at the end of the day, all these are household names, and so if one goes through to appear on the ballot paper and the other one still remains the same, Museveni's family. And so that is the issue. And so Dr. Tanga Udoi, who is the chairperson, Electoral Commission, National Resistance Movement, that sits at in Kampala at the Chandondo, he has come out clearly to say that President Museveni will be president in 2026. Muhoozi should wait, and that is according to the chairperson, Electoral Commission of the ruling National Resistance Movement, Dr. Tanga Udoi. He said that he has no reservations to hand over the party flag to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni come 2026, and so he emphasized that President Museveni is here until 2026 and even beyond, following the Central Executive Committee declaration in 2019. And so, for your information, the Central Executive Committee declared in 2019 that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will continue to be the flag bearer for the National Resistance Movement whenever the country is faced with any election of that caliber. Quoting him verbatim saying, "We stand firm to tell Uganda and the whole world that we have President Yoweri Museveni for 2026 as a flag bearer. First of all, I am the chairperson Electoral Commission NRM party, and I am the one who gives flags. I have only one declaration form, which I will give it to President Yoweri Museveni, and after giving, I will declare nominations closed," and that is according to Dr. Tanga Udoi, a man who was very controversial before joining NRM, and now he has joined the NRM, and so he's not so controversial as he was when he was still the Makerere Don, right there, the University Don. He is a lecturer of political science. He was. I do not know whether he still lectures political science at Makerere University after getting into NRM, and so I do not know whether he's still part-time with Makerere University. But before joining NRM, he was a very big critic of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. But as soon as he was given that position of the chairperson Electoral Commission, here he is, and here are the statements that are coming from him, not from me, Denis Oringi. I do not know whether one time I will also dine on the same table with those who are busy dining, with the chiefs and the kings. And so that is Dr. Tango Doi for you right there. I do not know whether he will really be able to change his statement when he is called by General Muhoozi Kainerugaba that please, can you reverse your statement? I do not know. 2026 is still very far. We have 2 years ahead of us before getting to 2026. So we do not know what exactly will happen between now and 2026. Could it be the statement will be changed? And I need to mark this statement, and I will have to keep it on record. And then one time, if God will still continue to bless me to be in this world, I will also be able to make comparison and try to remind people of the statement made by the NRM chairperson, Electoral Commission, Dr. Tango Doi, in regards to who will carry the flag comes 2026. In regards to election in this country. So Dr. Tango Doi made the remarks on Saturday at the belated Women's Day celebration organized by women leaders of West Budama North Constituency in Tororo, District, courtesy of the area member of parliament, that is Mark Oshati, at Bishop Yona Okot Primary School in, that is Nongongera sub-county right there in Tororo. And so that is something that you have to know right there in regards to this. So in a statement that attracted laughter from celebrants, Dr. Tanga described the mooted plans by the first son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, to contest for the flag as a joke. He said Muhoozi is like a standby generator and has to wait after the main power switches off to vacuum main. And so you have to know. And so there are t-shirts that are going around when President Yoweri Museveni visited the region, and so there are some t-shirts written on in Luganda. And so for those who understand Luganda, you are able to interpret, and we want you also to interpret to some of us who are putting on the t-shirts without understanding what have been written right there. And somebody was criticizing, why do you bring t-shirts written in the words written in Luganda to the West Nilers who do not even sometimes understand what has been written? And so why can't we also translate the same maybe in the local languages that we have in the region? I am not here to tell you what you're supposed to write. You know it better. Mine is to emphasize and also let the people know what is going on. And that's why I have brought for you this. And so quoting him verbatim, that our brother Muhoozi is a standby generator. He's a serving soldier in the military. So he can't come into active politics until he resigns. And once he resigns, he needs time to acclimatize himself and know what they do with politics. So we are going to keep Museveni, and not until the party decides who comes next. And that's according to Dr. Tango Doi, who is the NRM Electoral Commission chairperson right there in there. So meanwhile, the Nabak District Woman Member of Parliament, that is Faita Nakut, you have to know, who presided over the function, appealed to the women to embrace education, technology and sciences as the year's theme reflects. So she said the team communicates the need for women and girls to embrace these three aspects because the future lies on them, and that if they don't use them, the spaces that the government has given to women will be lost because they will require competence, and it will no longer be the issue of emancipation right there. And so that is something that took place over the weekend, and so it's important that I should be able to bring to your attention. You as a person, you can also make your analysis in regards to this race for presidency comes 2026 between the two household names here that we do have, who might be the one appearing on the ballot paper, or both of them appearing on the ballot paper, and which party will the other one be able to stand on, and who will you go with at the end of the day? And so that is something that you need to know in regards to this. All right, we have been talking about the issues to do with circumcision, but on a side note, this morning you have to know that a 4-month-old baby dies in botched circumcision procedure that did not go well. And so it's quite unfortunate right there that police in Palisa district in eastern Uganda are investigating circumstances under which a baby died on hour after being circumcised. So the incident happened at the Palisa General Hospital on Saturday. It is reported that Riasa Clement Edwin, a 4-month-old baby, started bleeding immediately after circumcision, and that's according to the Bukedi North Regional Police spokesperson, Assistant Superintendent of Police, and that is Immaculate Alaso, confirmed the unfortunate incident, saying the doctor who carried out the circumcision is on the run, but efforts are underway to apprehend him. And so if you are doing your work and it is so happen, in that unfortunate manner, why should you run away? Because you are a doctor and you can have the language to explain yourself and tell the members of the public what exactly happened. And I think the doctor running away speaks a lot and speaks volumes. Either it was a kind of a deliberate effort, because if it was not deliberate, the doctor would have not really taken off, as it has been reported by the Assistant Superintendent of Police, who is the police spokesperson for Bukedi North Regional Police right there. And so it's quite unfortunate. This might be one of those that have really passed on in a botched circumcision right in our country. And so I think for our parents also, we need to really, give some time to this little one. Just 4 months, this little one has just been in this country. And so why can't we give them time first to grow up, and also that they have the energy and they have enough blood that can really sustain the procedure that is always taken in regards to that is circumcision right then. And so that is something that you need to know. It is happening in our country, Uganda, and so we need to also to let our parents be aware of this, that when you take your child for circumcision, first of all you have to know whether your child is healthy, whether he or she has enough, whether he has enough blood that can really sustain the circumcision procedure, because in the process there's a lot of blood that is lost. And so once the blood is lost, so blood is like water, and so we cannot survive without it, and so we need blood. And so if a young one who is still 4 months bleeding massively, it contributes to life being lost. And so it's quite unfortunate right there. May his soul rest in eternal peace. And we can encourage those who are taking their children for circumcision to always be very, very careful whenever they're taking their children for circumcision right there. Let's get to another issue right here to do with the judiciary here in our country, Uganda. That court apologizes to man who spent 11 years in jail. And so why did the court decided to apologize? And so nearly 12 years after he was convicted of aggravated robbery, William Obore won his fight to be declared an innocent man in a landmark decision in which the appellate court apologized to him before they signed off a 17-page judgment. The 3 Court of Appeal judges who rendered the decision expressed deep regret that the appellant has been in prison for more than 11 years now from the time he was arrested. And he might not be the only person who is rotting there in jail because, of innocence. The people might have not committed the crimes that they are being alleged that they have committed, but that they are rotting right there in prison. And so I think it is also good that the court decided to apologize. And so this particular young man, the quorum of justices Ellen Obura, Catherine Bamugamirire, and so when you hear the name Catherine Bamugamirire, it reminds me of the Commission of Inquiry into Land Matters that we have in our country, Uganda, when President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni made her the chair of the Commission of of Inquiry into Land Matters, and she was able to traverse the country, hearing from the people issues to do with the land cases and also the backlogs in regards to land matters that we have in our country, Uganda. She did her part. She wrote a report submitted. I do not know what exactly happened to the report that the commission, led by Catherine Bamugamirire, did present to the country. And so we believe that some of those issues, some of those reports can be, re-examined and also, studied. And if there are recommendations that can really work well in regards to solving matters in this country, as far as issues to do with land is concerned, and then we can really adopt some of them. And so those ones that might not be good enough for us to implement can be put aside. And so so the quorum of justices, Helen Obura, Catherine Bamugamirire, and Christopher Mandrama noted that Mr. Obore's appeal that was filed in 2012 was heard over 9 years later. His acquittal, they further noted, comes after he has served close to 10 years from the date of his conviction. And so quoting them verbatim, saying that obviously the appellant has suffered great injustice well aware of the setbacks that this court has suffered in the past, we still make a humble appeal to the registry of this court to fix appeals for hearing on the basis of fast in, fast out to avoid such embarrassing scenarios, the judges wrote, and I believe that this will be taken into consideration. There are those that are rotting in jails, even they have not yet been, convicted by the required court of this country. And so for those who are suffering in government prisons just because somebody wants you to rot there and you have never been heard in the court of this country, we pray that one day that you will be able to come out, and those who have been denying you the justice that you need will apologize to you, like these appellant judges have done right there. And so wrongful convictions occur when an innocent person is convicted of a crime they did not commit. And so in Uganda, the causes include inadequate legal representation. Yeah, there are people who have never been represented in court, police misconduct, and false confessions. Such convictions have serious consequences for the victim as well as their families and communities. They also have broader societal effects such as undermining public trust in the criminal justice system. It reminds me of families here in Arua that their heads were picked and taken to prison without even a serious judgment. And it's coming now to around almost around 1 month that they have never been tried, and no mention has really been made in the court of this country. And so they continue to suffer at Arua government prison simply because they have been reported of malicious damage and trespass on the land, that the matter is still in court. And so as soon as they went to report a matter, then they were accused and arrested, taken direct to government prison. And whenever they appear at court, their cases are not mentioned. And so they keep moving up and down. And so the efforts of the family members to secure bail for these persons has also been all in vain, and we continue to follow up on that particular matter, on that particular case as well, because we're interested in this kind of matter. And it's good that the appellant judges have really come out to say that the causes of the wrongful convictions occur when an innocent person is convicted of a crime they did not commit. Now, in Uganda, the causes include inadequate legal representations, police misconduct, and false confessions. Such convictions have serious consequences for the victim, as well as their families and communities. And so they also have broader societal effects, such as undermining public trust in the criminal justice system. Now, on April 16, 2012, Obore was convicted by then High Court Judge Stephen Musota and slapped with a 20-year jail sentence. In the period between Obore's wrongful conviction and exoneration, so Judge Musota has served on the appeals court and was recently elevated to the Supreme Court. Now, in January, Chief Justice Alphonse Owindolo appointed him the Chief Inspector of Courts. Now, dissatisfied with Judge Musota's decision, Mr. Obore appealed against both conviction and sentence on grounds that the trial judge erred in law and fact when he failed to properly evaluate evidence on identification and wrongfully convicted him of the offense of aggravated robbery. And she also appealed the sentence, insisting that the trial judge erred in law and fact when he sentenced the appellant to 20 years of imprisonment, which sentence was without justification. And so, in acquiring Obore and ordering his immediate release, the appellant court found the evidence on record leaves some doubt about Mr. Obore's participation in the offense beyond any reasonable doubt. So it consequently ruled in his favor. And quoting from the appellant judgment sheet read the thing that we conclude that the appellant is not guilty of the offense of aggravated robbery. Had the land trial judge carefully and critically evaluated the evidence as pointed out above, we would have so found. And so that is matters to do with judiciary in our country, Uganda. And so there are people who are being wrongfully convicted. For your information, they're there, and I know some of you know them, and let them continue to try. So when they fail, when you are convicted, you have a right to appeal. If a judge has not treated you well, you have a right to appeal, and you have to be given fair hearing. You have to be accorded what you need as a person to say that you succeed. And so till the last point, that is the Supreme Court of this country, and that will be the last point for you to seek your justice. And so beyond that, you can also behave like Mel Mabirizi, who was able to go to the East African Court, challenging the decision that was reached at in the presidential, in challenging the outcome of the presidential election, where Mel Mabirizi was not satisfied, and he was able to use the whole pickups to carry that is the evidence to pin those who participated in the elections. And so we are still waiting for the judgment from the East African Court right there. And so that is something in regards to what we have in our country, Uganda, for you. And so still have more for you right this morning. It is 10 minutes past over 8 a.m. right on Western Television. Let's get to that is the issues to do with 7-year-old twins become breadwinner in our country, Uganda. Here, this is not outside Uganda, that 7-year-old twins becoming breadwinners, and this is so serious and it's so shocking that children who are 7 years old, they're becoming breadwinner in their homes. And so bare-chested with pot bellies greeting the eyes of any visitors who enters the grass touch house. And so getting these young children being the breadwinner right there. Joyce Alao, who lives about 2 kilometers away from the home of these children, says all of Sege's immediate relatives are dead. So her children find themselves in solitary confinement with no close folk to turn to apart from well wishes. And so the 7-year-old twins, all their relatives are dead, and they're the one trying to struggle with life. And so it's quite unfortunate right there. And so I think this gives you the picture of part of our country. There are people who are really going through a lot, and they are really trying their level best to see that they also survive like others, and to make matter worse. And these are people who are all struggling for the same resources that we have in our country, Uganda. And those that are supposed to support these people, more especially the leaders that we have at the lower local level, cannot think about these persons. And so it is until maybe a journalist picks this up and it becomes a very big issue in our country, Uganda. And so let's continue to identify these poor persons that we do have. The government programs are there. Unfortunately, the government programs have good intention, but the implementer seems to be deviating from the real intention of the programs that we do have. Currently, we are talking about the parish development model that is supposed to benefit the poor household, the household that are still in a subsistence economy, so that they get to the money economy. But you find that the people who are beneficiaries of these parish development model are people who are already in the money economy. And you keep asking yourself, when will those in a subsistence economy be able to get to the money economy if the programs that are meant to support these persons are being taken up by those who are already in the money economy? And that is how far we have gone as persons in this country, that we think about ourselves and we don't think about other people. And so we feel good when some people are sleeping hungry, when some people are going through problem, and that turns to be our smile, and we keep smiling and laughing at them. And some people even mock at them and saying that who told you that you're supposed to be poor? And so that is the extent that we have reached as human persons. And to make matter worse, the people who talk like that are the people who are accorded all the respects that they need whenever they go before God. And they are given front seats, and these are people with impunities, and they're being considered. Maybe they want God to forgive them of their impunity. But the poor person is told first to wait outside, and they allow the rich person to enter. Somebody did tell me that if you're a poor person and you have raised your hand to talk in public, nobody will really consider your hand. What will people be saying? They will be saying, what do you have? What are you going to say? That is going to change the situation. But once a rich person has talked, that marks the end of the meeting, and the meeting is closed, and everybody nods to the submission given by this person who is considered to be a rich person in that particular area, forgetting that a poor person has ideas that can change situations. And when President Yoweri Museveni met the journalists, he did say that the most stupid people are the educated people. They're the one confusing this country and making the country the way it is. And all the programs that the government has good intention for, the programs are not being properly implemented because some people claim to have gone to school, confuse each and everything with the issue of pillars, windows, and other stuff. And so confusing a person who has never understood what a pillar means. And who at the end of the day will be able to get on the program and benefit will be the same people who are trying to move around interpreting and encouraging people to embrace this particular program. I'm telling somebody this morning that whenever you go for a meeting, make sure that before you sign the paper, get to understand why you're signing the paper. Unfortunately, our poor people have been taken advantage of in that manner, where some few technical people who call themselves educated, they have gone to school, move around with the papers, telling people to sign here and there, and they tend to use such attendance sheet to claim monies and to provide accountability for the money that they have used for buying vehicles, that they have used for building their own houses. And this is a situation that we have reached, that somebody comes from Kampala and tells you, please sign, we are going to send you for your money using mobile money. Till today, some people are still waiting for their money that they were told to sign, and the money will be sent using mobile money. And I do not know what government is thinking about that. Why should the money only be paid using mobile money? Can't we really provide a mechanism where the money is delivered there and then? I know somebody will be saying that, when a person carries money, it promotes corruption. Let me tell you, the corruption, the highest, a ranking of corruption in Uganda is through this mobile money stuff that we're talking about here. Because when a person comes up country, like this particular area of West Nile, and the person has conducted maybe trading with some leaders and maybe some local people, once a person goes back to Kampala, he feels like, oh, who will follow me up to here? After all, they don't know where I stay. How will they begin make follow up here and there? And so this has really given a fertile ground for corruption to breed in our country, Uganda. And there are people who are eating money in that manner. And where is the money going? They're buying good cars, luxurious, building skyscrapers everywhere, and they have the resources. And how is the life of this person that the program was meant for? Well, the life will never change. But you find the implementers of these programs, their life continue to change each and every time. But the people that are supposed to be the beneficiaries of the programs, their lives cannot change. We have had government interventions, programs, non-governmental organizations, CSOs coming on board to support, give support to our people. But what are we seeing? We see the lives of the people that are being supported by these people do not change. But we see the lives of those who are implementing the program, trying to move around, telling people change each and every time. And so if we do not go back to analyze this, let me tell you, our people will be used like like baits on the hooks to get fish out of the river. And that's how some poor people here in our country are being used. They're just being used like baits that are being used by fishermen to fish big fish in the lakes and the rivers that we do have here in our country. And I want to tell somebody this morning, you should never be used like a bait for fishing. And let me say this in Alur. Kudi keduti kudi geno shallow sham majuketi wi gol mi mako resh. E jama crash neke kana yudu resh kwa madongo. Inango majumekiri ragogi manguche tik. And so ragogi re majuweko iri. Endo shomacho nyala kureshne ma nungu nyama meke ma nungu depende kwa kutonge man kumoje chomasho chamure. And so enu kitama nungu watie ko niya ya jumagi kone ya gisomole gitiu ko dwageno shalo sham maju ketiwi ogol mi makoresh mi bitu resh madongo edong kaji bidi giyuti kudi pi no giyuti kwa resh madongo kende reshe gi shamo gi giero kwa udi madongo motokari kwa magirengo kwa mangish ijal majutie kan tiu kudi nyingi jutiu ko le minwango lem en pin minwangan wanga dembe eso enu kitama no watie ko ingom eni ni aya kangati moko bini bengi ko lambe moko manyango wingo yer ngat esani ya lambe perne anyange ken fodungo duo kendu ruonde wotie ko jummo ko don gibinu ikin pashu ko karatas moko kersinge kai obitual resende mobile money shel ka woni jumoko podi sende migi ginwango ko e program muka de orali fare ko pira rio program muka de orali fare ko da para bongwen e ngati nwango e kene ai kampala bini bengi iketo shinge tapshi lambe da ko ire yot mishido kane gamo kolim madit monongo mako bet piri e bitiyo ko de ire mi ger uri ko madongo polba uri madongo mi nana jite kane gero sende majiti ko de sende majite kane kwalo ni tiyo ko nyingwa jitiyo tiyo ko kwa mwa ni neno ni ya sende ni manongo nyunwang e so nga washir ni ya ka program moko tie nen ni ya ilubo te program e cha show kar ko jiti ku digeno chalo ir chama jo ketu yo gol mi mako resh wan wati go chama jo ketu yo gol wan check wadano e nyuto ngoni aka ngata somo ngo ngata ming deriek edong kurwa nene ya ki an ma somo ngo ka ngeyo la moko jibe bino pare jibe bidu wangwa kumeni ngo ingeyo yer ngat e ne program na nyango ngo ke yere show wati program pagamente mautie and program pagamente ne jumoko jori yako moko mage kuone ge somo le gibedu ka nyendo wiwa ko leb moko madongo moko madongo mi confusing huwa e yori nge tapshi wanu mvonyi go sende program pagamente cholo perengo ento makinenia ya ibedu i program ne ni wango berry program e program pagamente bini bengi go no ibedu tawat peri program pagamente bini bengi no inde itie kan timo lembe moko enu kin manongo program binu ko de ka woni wote kan weshi pdm kin ma musa ben weshi ko de manda shengne ete program miriam oshan e kano ifuru podo peri imbe ko sende mi wilo kodi nene ya imonde group igamo sende chalo loan e kai ni pedo majani ni pedo kawa ni jumo pedo kawa nge oro adi makawa tingu ka chako check e dongo ti ngone ke gamo sende tini ngi yenga rio ma ko jibe ka sendo ka duongo dogolo per ne ya duok sende na ma kunge no fu di pedo kawa peda e sende mi game pedo ko kawa e ket kawa na check game chaka duok yiri ngeye museme wa sene ya kadi nge dui pira wa ngwen ni ora shelde sende mi pdm podi duok asu sende duok nge pogamente sende eduok parish esha karma shende iramo gamo kendu e we ko kar ni jumo kende ni agi gam enu kituma program pagamente pdm otie kodo no ni jumo gamo sende eni e kudi gami shidi gam ko da kuyo jumo kende nge gamo sende no ginyota de wigi no tiu dengo wi gudu wi ne bishole ke shule ngo tapshi jibi yekido wano nge ukin waje yako ko dani lono e don mako yebo wangwa jumo tie kan gamo sende eni wanen ya wanyuto igilame matira ilame mi gamo sende esende majo gamu kudwa gamu ne washaka ne madhu kukonga mata wagemu sende eni waketi teach sende eni konyo jumu furu podu unge ukin mo sandre ko daga sa okodi to woni mo weshu jumu kana yabo podu sende mi ko dimbe pdm oti sende tie parisha monde group gor pire ne ya amito selende mo mara monyo alifu daka bish aneno podu parisha lash echide wel kodi e sende mi pdm eti ngoni amake we gam sende echide ya podu kelai fur kong awiya peritie udikir kuda wiya fur kong podu ya podu ko sende moko e donc sende menunge bin gam ko di pdm jati kude me welo kodi ti kude meneno ne ya kodi mi pedo gidongo maber ya te wele ketu ga keno e keri wi kodi ajikane ke yeri nya ya chan ene joromo ya mongo ananyati pa jara fur ange ukin ma fur ko nyako dano kwaro mirabedu jara fur anda jara fur ento tish matong tongre matingo dano de nonga maro poto de mitu gudengo ento dano zo furu poto ngo jo mokena ma ko tim tish mokenda de edong kai iketu sende ipodu awachiri kete ko do podu ngora tie ite ko do podu ngoro tie ite ko kawa peri ite ko rabolo ke yerani ya ito jara shan ngo shamuti shi di podu to ngora peri ngoro tie ga kasha ijebo de ka dijeba cheng soko chale cheng mi paide cheng adegi cheng soko mi dhe ogi cheng ariogi ishidu pe de ka welo rejmo ainam ishidu pe de ka welo ringu itongo kilo moko de eno nko yotungo awiyo pere cholo pere somo school le no maber eno la ma jawi ngom yore ka gota msamene tikane washiwa ya waramori amoshan emetongo ni amakinye ibed jara lonyo mingia motokare ento makine ne ya pasuperi utie maber vudi on maber awiyo pere de somo o chamo kwen ko gweno mata shai ko maber de shengo chamo utie no de o chamo uvutu de maber urode ko gwena wiya ayo ngero Pas makai shidi en wangu ne ya wia pielo soa esha pas masham ni ie ento wa washina ya ka shamo nya utong soroni a wia da piele soroni kar tu makuango edo waneno ni ya wadiko shingo waria mashankara shelo angio ni ya kubang oro du mira ngwen kumeni ete du mi ya popodu edu mi ketu kodi penyi ipadiere mi daw ko yore jonam itenge mira lwe ngora jote kan shomo jumute kan yiku ngora ke yiku ngora makotui ka ite lep chunyi de bedo yom ke shidi jara furi shidi podin wangu podo peri utie maber chamu tie kan dongo maber yamu tie kan koto it kodi peri utie kan woto lep anyonga de negi e chako do podo mokende ento ke shidi podin wangu ne ya pen moko mi pedo motu yomba e aya va furi kumi e don wan remo yobo penyege Mungu konyowa kukot mo wana chuyungo waketo kot wanungo kot aiba Mungu e don wan machalo dhano wati ku kero makwa yepo podu waketo fyenyo ku kokri podu e karo wabet ku kar mineno ni ya shan wariemo ni jumo timo tich matong tich pagamente ku tich pa dhano de asuira mo furu podu ikato sende podu ni jumo timo tich mo kenda de sende eneti ku de yori mo porre ni neno ni ya ni riemo shan ni jumo kenda kede nenia ya lembe manongo dhano ki cheka ne mito makono ngo betu kar de mite mere chalo kin madegi mito e bedo berongo niketo nyatipa wedu ube kaka di peko makunke ne ngeo maber ne ya nyatipa wedu mako bedu sham de maber e dong de okwo ko gine maber karo ginde anyonga beri ige anyonga bedu ngo i kalembe wotungo maber e bedu maber dengo ko ne bedu berongo kay mit neno ni ya ngatu ngiero nungu kwoti maber ire kana ngiero ngo nungu lembe berongo eno para makinyang de anwango ngo ngat mo sham maber makwo para teke maber mo wange shol juma wange shol te no juma no ko me gi woto maber ngo e biblia yer ni ya anyonga utini juma gite jo anyonga e ka janyonga ke janyonga ngo anyonga de bini iringo e don wan mako ne no ya obedi ngomo no dano shekel gingero lagini lela e kay beri kin dana ma lagine no lela ino ngi beri kin juma reshu no ngi beri kin juma no ko me gite yarete sawa sheke no gite ko paro ko madongo anyonga no nyoli gidengo e don ma ko beri ko dana ma no nyonga nyoli gisa sheke givunjo maber no ko de tima yoti gi e don waketo ko madano sheke ben mayot dakika do ngweno ma kanene ya workchen ku di studio mi datin karni foyo mani washini ya mo medra sukani ko ngom enne chalo dano e pian kawa kuongo chala dhano e kuone yothungo jaluru wacha shinga shel temotishongo wadi kushingwa de kaninen ni lembe sheke e wuto maber e kay temotichini kendi bero moko min wango be ento kay temotich kulwak bin wango bero le e lwak de kay tiyu kugi makinyang ne ya lwak de ti dano chalo in e kuli tiyu kulwak gene chala tiyu ku dieng maji tiyu ku mi furu podu masa sheke beka jwatu ngene o beka furu makunke ne kete madho pingo ikete shamo ngo kirumba kome diang ne to kero meti yuko ne furu podo iri e bedo tek e do dano te leango ma chalo dieng ma juti yuko gi ma iketo gi madho pingo ma gi madh pigi sham kai chwalo gi podo de korti jenen maber anyonga de nego gi. Thank you very much, dear viewer. This morning we do appreciate you for being with us. 3 minutes for me to leave the studio. It is a Monday. We shall be able to give you more programs. I've been saying that if you're working with the people, work with the people like you're working with human persons. So don't work with the people like you're working with cows. That you want them to plow for you your garden, but you are not feeding them, and you're not really giving them time to to feed. And so we are human persons, and so whenever we are staying with people, we should be able to understand situation for the people. And once you understand them, work will also be well, and everybody will be smiling. And in an environment where you see smiles each and everywhere, let me tell you that even that environment will be very good for you. I live with neighbors who are always smiling, and that's why I am also smiling amid these challenges. And so we need to create an environment that is so friendly for all of us to live in, and so that we continue to do what we are supposed to do. It is not good for you to stay in an environment where people are not smiling with you. And there you will begin to ask yourself, what is the problem? I think maybe there's a problem here. And once you have identified the problem, make sure that you solve the problem there and then. We are all human persons. And the beauty is that nobody is going to live forever and ever. Time will come for us also to live. And they always say the best dancer can also leave the stage. And allow me to leave the stage this morning. And thank you very much. I am out of the studio. Get me again tomorrow for the same program, Kokoliriko Show on Western Television. I believe I have been able to inform you about what is happening in our country and outside Uganda. Remember, a fresh war has broke out in Sudan, and we shall be able to give you updates from Sudan. And the government of the Republic of Uganda has promised to evacuate those Ugandans in Sudan back home, because the situation seems to be getting worse and worse each and every time. And so we shall be able to give you every information that you need to know. And do not forget, at exactly 7 p.m. in the evening, the news hour, the Nilecast with Christina Kokoliriko will be coming your way, as the newsroom will be working some stories that will be broadcast for you in the evening. Other programs will be following, and do not forget the Northern Request Hour will be coming later on. The Street Talk with MC Sarge will also follow suit from 1 to 2, and then 2 to 3. The Whistle Time with Freddie Owen together with Susie and Benson, and as they will be able to analyze some of the stories in the world of sport. And do not forget the Movie Hour comes your way every Monday through Saturday from the hour of 3 to 5, and then from 5 to 7 DJ Mosh together with us and the Big Brother and Fifi Afi, they come back here in the studio to give you what is happening in the world of entertainment. And do not forget at exactly 7 p.m. Christina Kokoliriko will be bringing for us news in English. And then from 8 to 9 MC Apinaka Vako 99 comes back for this particular week, as we'll be able to give you what is happening in the world of Vako, making yourself to laugh in the evening as you get to your bed. And for those who work in the night, we do not forget about you as well. And we always give you the music videos that make your night as you enjoy watching Western Television from wherever you are. And then the following day, we start up the day again as morning show crew. Thank you very much. God bless you. Kokoliriko comes to an end today.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Agupiko quiso de riambesitate, te riambesitate. Buffalo come soldier man, Lord Amasi. Yeah, I think click that solid boy. Judgment Agupa Batalia, Agupiko quiso de riambesitate.
Yesu Kristo ya zagari do karnangai Yesu ye moko kaka Yesu ni my bodyguard ni my bodyguard ni Yesu ni my bodyguard ni my bodyguard ni Yesu ni my bodyguard ni my bodyguard ni Oh Yesu ni my bodyguard ni my bodyguard ni Yesu ni my bodyguard ni my bodyguard ni Oh Yesu ni my bodyguard ni my bodyguard ni Maruya Bakafa Kanisa Mimi Maruyo Bani Guadale Bangadilaya
Yesu kutaya pariwa